Okay, so now let's turn to the Seven Dials mystery. Because on the surface, it really looks like Christie is stepping way out of her comfort zone. It looks like she's trying to write something totally different, a classic 1920s thriller. And you gotta understand, this genre was a whole other world compared to her cozy mysteries. It was dominated by male writers like Sapper, who created Bulldog Drummond, and John Buchan with his hero Richard Hannay. These were gung-ho, chest-beating stories just packed with action, patriotism, and super high stakes. And when you look at the Seven Dials mystery, it seems to tick every single box. You've got secret plans, vaguely evil foreigners, powerful cars, fancy house parties with loaded revolvers just kind of lying around, plucky heroines, and, of course, a masked secret society. For all the world, it looks like a textbook 1920s thriller. So here we are, smack in the middle of Bulldog Drummond territory, the very thing we started with, the thing Val McDermott said Christie flat out couldn't do, right? Well, this is where it gets really, really clever. Because if you look just a little bit closer, you find this Wodehouse connection, and it reveals that this is a thriller with its tongue planted firmly in its cheek. And the answer is, she isn't even trying to write a thriller. This book isn't a thriller. It's a pastiche of a thriller. A pastiche is basically when an artist does an imitation of another style. And Christie isn't doing it because she can't write a real one. She is deliberately mimicking the style of these books, not to celebrate them, but to gently make fun of them. It's her clever little antidote to all that gung-ho chest beating. Just listen to the very first sentence of the book. That amiable youth Jimmy Thesiger came racing down the big staircase at Chimneys 2 steps at a time. Does that sound dangerous to you? There's no sense of high stakes here at all. It's light, it's carefree, it's almost a comedy. And that light-hearted, Wodehousian feeling is totally deliberate. As McDermott points out, if you just swap a couple of names, say Jimmy Thesiger for Bertie Booster and the stately butler Treadwell for Jeeves, that opening line would feel perfectly at home in a P.G. Wodehouse story. Christie is basically winking at us from page 1, signaling that this whole thing is not meant to be taken entirely seriously. And this sense of humor, it's actually a really powerful tool, and she uses it with surgical precision to create this sly, shrewd satire of the English class system. You can tell a lot about a person's beliefs by what they choose to make fun of, right? So what does Agatha Christie find funny? Who are the real targets of her jokes in this novel? And this is where that Wodehouse humor becomes a weapon. This table lays it out perfectly. First, she goes after the aristocracy. People like Lord Caterham, who are presented as these endearing but ultimately useless, lazy figures of fun. Then you've got the nouveau riche, the coots, who are just relentlessly mocked for their ambition and their desperate attempts to climb the social ladder. But she even turns that satirical eye on her own upper middle class, painting the young men as these completely ineffectual, silly asses who always need to be rescued by their far more competent female friends. And this is the crucial difference. Where her male contemporaries wrote about these classes with total reverence, Christie just skewers all of them. All of this, the pastiche, the satire, it's all building towards her ultimate sleight of hand, because this book is about so much more than just a simple whodunit. Okay, here's where it gets truly masterful. She moves beyond simple class satire into something much, much deeper. Now, look, Christie was a woman of her time, and her work can sometimes reflect the casual bigotry of that era. But what's so fascinating in this novel is how she flips that completely on its head. The prejudice itself comes under attack. She deliberately creates characters and situations designed to trigger our knee-jerk judgments, playing on the common stereotypes of a 1920s reader. Think of it like a magic trick. She's playing a game with your own mind. So step 1, she invites you to make all these snap judgments based on lazy stereotypes. The shifty foreigner, the dumb aristocrat, you name it. But then step 2, the reversal. By the end of the novel, she has systematically forced you to rethink almost every single one of those positions. And that leads to the final brilliant move. She's used your own prejudice against you. It becomes a key part of the misdirection. So the whole time we're sitting there looking for the expected twist, who's the bad guy, who did it, but that's just the surface level. The real twist, the true sleight of hand, is that Christie is subverting the entire thriller genre, and in doing so, holding up a mirror to us, the readers. She makes our own biases the real mystery to be solved. The final reveal isn't just about the villain's identity, it's about the assumptions we brought into the book in the first place.
As Val McDermid puts it so perfectly, it's all sleight of hand. And the quickness of Christie's hand still continues to deceive our eyes all those years later. It's just a testament to a level of genius that we so often overlook.
So, to wrap it all up, Agatha Christie was so much more than just a brilliant plotter. She was a subversive parodist. She expertly used humor not just for a few laughs, but as a razor-sharp tool for social commentary. And ultimately, her deepest genius, at least here, lies in playing this incredible metagame with the reader's own expectations and prejudices.
And it leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? Knowing this, what other hidden depths might be just waiting for us to discover in the works of our most famous, most familiar authors?